Strat-O-Matic Excel Carryover League. Brought to you by the Shrimp Troller. 1972 to 1975.
Game 97, Phillies at Marlins.
Welcome back, baseball fans. 1972-75 Carryover League. We got a series today in the National League East. Best of 7 series between the Phillies and the Marlins. Phillies last year shocked everybody, made it all the way to the League Championship Series, slightly before their time with the kids, the Whiz kids, the Whiz kids before they turned into the Wheeze kids. But we're a long way from that. Schmidt arrived, and that changed everything. This year, they don't look as good. Marlins have probably the toughest draw of any of the expansion teams. There's 32 teams in our league. There's 8 expansion teams joining the traditional. Half of those are in their own division. The Diamondbacks, the Rockies, Las Vegas, and Portland. So somebody wins that division. So half the expansion teams have a chance of winning a division. Toronto and Seattle technically don't exist yet, so they're going to struggle in the American League East and West. There's an Ohio expansion team, but they play in division with Cleveland and Detroit. And you have this Marlins team, but they're in the National League East where you've got the Phillies, the Braves, and the Mets, who at various times dominate in this timeline. So it really makes it hard for the Florida Marlins to make the playoffs. Let's take a look at this series, which opened up in Florida, Game 1. Steve Carlton, 27-game winner versus Steve Arlen, a discarded pitcher from the Padres, that Florida's happy to have. Pitched okay. Bottom of the first, Ellie Rod reaches on a 2-base error and scores. Bottom of the fourth, Vic Davalillo homer, 2-0. But then in the fifth, Arlen makes a mistake. A walk, a single, and then Tim McCarver hits a 3-run homer, and it's 3-2. The Phillies had a couple more runs after an error, a walk, and a double, make it 5-2. Marlins make it close with a Manny Mota 2-run homer, but the Phillies explode in the ninth with 4 more runs. It's a 9-5 final. Steve Carlton, not particularly sharp, by the way. 8 innings, 10 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned. Phillies get a road win, 9-5 in Game 1. But things are going to change. Game number 2. It is the Marlins. Ed Figueroa versus Wayne Twitchell. And it's a 6-3 victory for the home team. They got a nice little offense. To get some hits, they got some batting average. They like to string together singles. Single, double in the second, plus a wild pitch gets you a couple. Double, single in the fourth. Double, single in the fifth. 3 singles in the seventh. It's a 6-3 final for Ed Figueroa, very young Ed Figueroa, taken away from the California and Yankee farm system. They'll have a nice little career here in Florida. He beats Wayne Twitchell 6-3. We're all tied up. Let's go to the city of brotherly love for Game 3. And these Marlins, again, it's Rich Trosden, another San Diego discard. San Diego upgrades their pitching staff by letting their own pitchers go to the Marlins and be replaced by guys like Brent Stroman, Randy Jones, and Dave Freisleben, and so forth. So Marlins will take him. Trosden, he was effective. 5 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs allowed. Pat Dobson, man, he is frustrated. He does give up a single, a double off of defense, and then a 2-base error on Walt Williams, and another single off of Walt Williams' range, and it's a 5-run inning. Only one of those runs is earned. Frustrating Dobson, former Oriole 20-game winner. Phillies come back with 3 runs of their own, but Marlins hang on. 5-3 victory. Tom Bergmeyer, a 2-inning save. Break up your Marlins. They won their first series of the year. They're up 2-1 in this. And they're playing tough baseball. They have, if you're going to root for a team, this is the team to root for, folks. Florida has the lowest percentage chance of winning a World Series in this timeline. Game 4. Florida up 2-1. Oh boy. But you got number 4 starter Eduardo Rodriguez versus Jim McLaughlin, and the Phillies have said enough is enough. They pound out 20 hits and 11 runs. 11-2. Let's move on. Series tied 2 games apiece. And then in Game 5, you had the rematch, now in Philadelphia, of Steve Arlen and Steve Carlton. And this is a crushing loss for Florida. Early on, slick defense for both teams. Very good. Every out you can get on the defense, you get. But in the 6th, that quickly goes away. Mike Schmidt reaches on a single off the shortstop. Tony Taylor reaches on an error on Ellie Rodriguez, E14 catcher. And then from there, it just goes downhill. Single, walk, single. It's a real shame because there could have been 2 outs in a shutout. Instead, it's a 5-run inning. 4 runs. Yeah. And that's all Lefty would need this time. You know, Lefty, he's getting an easy draw, I got to say, through two series. I think he's got 2 or 3 wins. He's either 2-0 or 2-1, something like that. 5-2 victory for the Phillies. They do reclaim the lead in this series. However, technically, the Marlins still control home field advantage with games 6 and 7 if necessary. Down in Miami, game 6 today for the Phillies. They'll trot out Wayne Twitchell. Wayne. 13-9, 2.50 ERA in 1973 and 223 innings. His best year ever. Against Ed Figueroa. They call him Eduardo in 1974 out of the Angels system. Little probably too green here. You see he gets lit up by lefties a little bit here, but good things are coming for Ed. You just have to be patient with these Marlins. Step 1 is to acquire the player young. Step 2 is to have them improve. We've seen the improvements coming along in this team with guys like Hal McRae. We improved his card. Let's say we improved Mian's card, Davalio's card. Next year we'll improve the Figueroa card. It's kind of that kind of scenario for the Marlins. Trying to even this series up. From Miami, leading off for your Phillies, Mike Schmidt, 2-7 to wall. Talking Tony Taylor, 45, short X. Chuck Coggin, a 4 shortstop. It's a ground ball C. Got a runner at second for Jay Johnstone. You got a base hit in the center field, Mike Schmidt, 14 runner. Against the +1 arm, he'll run, he'll score. Greg Luzinski, 1-4, is hit by the pitch. 2-1, 1 out for Gary Maddox. 3-11 is hit by the pitch. And oh boy, folks, there's about benches are clearing here. What's going on with Figueroa? Dude, it was a curveball. It just backed up on him, you know. So please, 77 miles an hour. Bases loaded, 1 out. Calm down, everybody. It's the Florida Marlins. Their pride is on the line here. With the bases loaded, 1 out. They need a double play. Playing back, Johnny Callison. 67, no, it's a single ... and the Phillies have got it going. 2 more runs, runners on the corners, 1 out. The infield has to come up for Boa. 37, single on a 5, cannot get it. And with 2 outs, it's McCarver. 37 on a 19, does get the single, plating one of the runners. First and second, 2 outs, they bat around. Denny Doyle. 37, single ... they get another run. And the Phillies, looking like they did last year. They surprised everybody last year. There's no surprise. 38 Ks. Overall standings, Philadelphia started 1-3. They're just a game under 500 now. If they win today, they'll be at 500. Again, they've got a harder schedule. So, sure, you cannot deny a team that just played in the League Championship Series and just say they can't go back. But it's going to be difficult once you get past these Marlins, we think. Vic Davalio, 37, sky's the center. Ellie Rod, 1-9's a base hit. Manny Mota is a 5-4-3 double play. Boy, the Marlins, you know, they played really well at the start of this series, but recently it's been ugly. Tony Taylor, 64, flies to right. Jay Johnstone, base hit with 1 out. Luzinski, left. And Gary Maddox, pitcher B. Bottom 2. It's Willie Montanez, flies to center. Cal McRae, 48 is a K. Felipe Alou, 1-7, rolls to short. Go to the third. Johnny Callison, 57 is a K. Larry Boa, 57, you guessed the same thing. And McCarver, 47, is a base hit. Denny Doyle, same result as well. Back to back, same results. KK single single. It'll be Mike Schmidt with 2 on and 2 outs. 2-7 is a walk. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Tony Taylor. Big at bat here if the Marlins want to stick around in this series. 2-8. Let's take a look at the Tony Taylor card of 1972. You know what, folks? In this series, Taylor was on the bench in games 1 and 2. Frustratingly, they put him in the lineup. Philly started to win. Tony Taylor went to the All-Star game a year ago as the National League utility player. We give a spot to that guy. A 303 average for Taylor. And he's playing first base this year because they don't have one. They don't have a first baseman. They don't have Tom Hutton. They don't have Willie Montanez. You see, he's on Florida. They lost Darren Johnson. So they have Tony Taylor and Tim McCarver playing first base for him. Possibly another reason why they might not go back to the League Championship Series. Anyway, 2-8, Tony Taylor is a base hit in the center field. 1 run scores. We're going to run Denny Doyle, and he scores as well. And Mike Schmidt goes to third, and it's 7-zip. Jay Johnstone, 6'11", is a K. 7-zip. Oh, was a promising start to this series, and then, yeah. Chuck Coggin, 310 Ks. Louis Melendez, 6'10", variety short X. Boa, forget it. Just forget it. He made 1 error in the last 6 years. Felix Millan, 34, lines short. Ed Warda will pitch the 4th inning. 3 hits, we'll call him point of weakness after the dismal start. Luzinski, 66, is a second X. Millan's a 2 at second base. He'll make the play. Maddox, 2-5 short. Johnny Callison, 58. Center field, nice inning for Figueroa. 7-zip. Bottom of the 4th. Vic Davalillo, 69. There's a walk. Ellie Rod, 64. Homer, 1-3 double. 2 base hit. Davalillo will not get thrown out the plate here. Down 7. Second and third, they'll play back. Needs 3 outs here. Manny Mota, 5'10" off of Twitchell, is catcher's X. Most likely ruin your shutout here. 49. Oh, the error. So that will score Davalillo. Runners in the corners. It's 7-1. Playing back for Montanez. 1-9. There's a double play. That'll score a run on the double play. 7-2. Hal McRae, 1-3. Flies right. Well, 7-2 game. Top of the 5th. Larry Boa, 1-6. Center. McCarver, 48. Single. Denny Doyle, 47. Single ... Let's call it a day there. Yeah, it didn't really work out. I'm sad to say for Mr. Figueroa. 4 1/3. Yeah, he's going to take his lumps with that card. You know, like we said, it's not quite ready. We just want him on the team. And the strategy was get him on the team. Otherwise, the Angels or Yankees would get him on the team next year. So you stole him away, which is good. It's just not very good right now. Ken Reynolds comes trotting out of the Marlin bullpen with runners in the corners, 1 out, down 5. Ken Reynolds was a Philly. Get some revenge against his former team. Ken was 2-15 with a 4.27 ERA for the Phillies in 1972, which means he and Steve Carlton combined for 29 wins from the south side of the mound there. Runners in the corners, 1 out. Infield comes up for Mike Schmidt. 36 is a walk. Playing back, looking for a Tony Taylor double play if we can get it. 1-6, center B question mark. Do we want to run McCarver? 13, 14, 15 against the arm of +1. He'll do it, and he scores. First and second, 2 outs. Johnstone, he'll swing away. He strikes out. 8-2. Felipe Alou. 210, lines a third. Chuck Goggin, 48, center. And Luis Melendez, 5'11", second X. Doyle's a 2E14. Makes the play. End of 5. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
Top of 6, it's Luzinski. 38. Base hit. Maddox, 2-7, K. Callison, he'll stay in the game for defense. 46, second X. That should be double play. For Mian, it is. Nice work for Ken Reynolds. 8-2, bottom of the 6th. Felix, putting me on. 57, we do, with a walk. Back up top, Vic Davalio. 36, single on a 14. Cannot get it on a 19. Elirod, 5'10", catcher's X. We have McCarver behind the dish, a 4E9 catcher. I think he made an error. No, the other guy made an error. No, he did. Fastball, this time. Runner at second, 2 outs for Manny Mota. He pops to second. It's an 8-2 affair. Well, a lot to see and do. Nice stadium, nice weather. Team not playing very well suddenly. Reynolds won an inning in 2/3. What Florida likes to do, they do have something to compete for. It's the Commissioner Award for roster participation. The team who factors in the most inning pitched and at-bats by all 20 roster players gets a compensation pick in the draft. So they like to utilize their entire bench and their entire bullpen as much as they possibly can to get the lead in that category. And here we are. 7th inning, Diego Segui is coming in to face Larry Boa. 49, triple and a 3. It's a triple. Infield up for McCarver. 210, second. Infield up for Denny Doyle. 5'11", center X. Oh boy. Melendez a 3-4 in center field. That's a sac fly. Can't do anything about that. It's 9-2. And Mike Schmidt. 68 is a walk. Tony Taylor, 211, pops to third. Any defense the Phillies can bring in? No. 9-2 affair in Florida was once a promising series where they were up 2-1. They have faded horribly in front of your very eyes, folks. However, we're enjoying the brilliant Elias Ochoa's 2014. This wonderful. Let's throw this one down again, folks. My favorite song of this. There you go. From the Buena Vista Social Club. I think in that one, Ibrahim Farrar maybe sung that. But anyway. Yeah. We love him, saw him with Afro-Cubism a few years ago. Back to the game. 9-2, Twitchell, starter 8. His best outing of the year. It's Willie Montanez, former Philly, 36. Let's take a look at the card. I haven't seen one because of the route. 3-6, Willie Montanez, homer 108, double arrest. It's going to be a double for your 302 hitting first baseman, someone that the Phillies could sorely use, and the Marlins have him. So there's that. That's how you have to do it. If you're the Marlins, you got to steal players from teams in your division. They got Mian away from the Mets and Braves. They got Montanez away from the Phillies. They got McRae away from Kansas City in the deal. They got some... Yeah, anyway. That's a double. Hal McRae, 37 Ks. Alou, 48 Ks. And with 2 outs, Chuck Coggin, 64. Homer, 1-19. It's a base hit. It's at 9-3. Melendez, Lomax. All right, we'll just go inning by inning here. We'll go Bergmeyer in the 8th. Bergmeyer, former Twin, former Red Sox, former Royal, current Marlin. Bergmeyer, very effective lefty for about a decade here. 5-8, 308 ERA in 76 innings. One of the charter members of the Florida Marlins, as I recall. He seems to always pitch for this team. I mean, you had to start somewhere with an expansion team if they don't exist in this timeline. So they had an initial draft many years ago, and Bergmeyer was on that team, and he still is. So that's how that worked out. Jay Johnstone. 1-7, double 1 to 13, gets it. Luzinski, 69, single 1 to 10, doesn't get it. Mathematics, 2-9, short, 2 outs. Johnny Callison, 1-5, short. Bottom of the 8th. Twitchell, let's take the afternoon off. You got a 6-run lead here. Let's get into the back end of the Philly bullpen with Mike McQueen. He was a Brave. Came up to the big leagues at 19. Talk about David Clyde out of high school. Well, Mike McQueen wasn't further out of high school. Had one good year. Now in 72, he's got a 4.62 ERA. We call him a lefty who gets lefties out, even though he doesn't. But we call him that anyway. And he likes to pitch in 6th-run deficits or leads in this case. Bottom of the 8th, Mian. 57's a walk. And we want to make this game interesting for you folks. Vic Davalillo, 67, another base hit. Here we go. 2-1, nobody out, Ellie Rod. 6-10, short X, and Larry Boa will extinguish this threat with, of course, that's how you get to the playoffs, folks. 2-1, nobody out. Forget about it. You got Boa, you got Harrelson, you got Belanger, Concepcion, you got a 1 or 2 at short. That's how you get to the playoffs. Manny Mota, sky's the center, and they file for the exits. All right, in the 9th inning, here's a nice little story for you. It's Orlando Pena, longtime guy in the 50s for like the Senators, who were the other awful, Kansas City A's, maybe the Orioles. He's like 40 million years old now. Comes back in the Cardinals after being out of the game for like 5 years. Nice year in 73. 4-4 with a 2.18 ERA. Funny part about it, one of the best years of his career. In 62 innings. Really unusual vanishing act to return. But here he is. In the 9th inning, he'll face Boa. Pops out. McCarver, who flies out. Denny Doyle, who flies out. And we'll have Fred Gladding come out of the Philly bullpen to finish this thing. Fred Gladding was an Astro in 72, 2.76 ERA. In 49 innings, he needs 3 outs for the Phillies to come back down 2-1 and rip off 3 straight wins and get a series win. We'll look at stats after this, we assume. It'll be Montanez, 65, center. Hal McRae, double 111, gets it. Felipe Alou, 47, second X. You got Denny Doyle, 2E14. He commits an error. On the corners, Chuck Coggin, 32, third B. That'll score a run. Louis Melendez, base hit. We're still playing here. Felix Mian, 58. No, we're not. It's over. Flies are right. There it is. It's 9-4. Man, you gotta be disappointed. The Marlins were looking pretty good for a reasonable bit of time. They're still not in horrible shape. But that Cinderella just turned into Cindy, kind of, sort of thing happened just in front of our eyes. Yeah. Bergmeyer gave up a hit. Segui gave up a hit, a run and a walk. Kenny Reynolds hitting in 2/3. Hit a walk and 2 Ks. Ed Figueroa, growing pains, 10 hits. Is that 8 runs? It certainly is. All earned. 4 walks, 4 strikeouts. Fred Gladding in the 9th inning, 2 hits, unearned run. Mike McQueen hitting a walk. Nice start for Twitchell. He gives up 4 hits and 3 runs. He lost his earlier start in the series. 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. 1009 0109 91347 6634. That's game 6. That's all we'll need. Really thought the Marlins could have won a 6, or at least get it in the 7. They could do neither. So when you look at the composite records of these teams, you'll see they'll be tied. Because the Phillies had a tough start and the Marlins had a great start. We'll take a look at a lot of different stuff here quickly before we wrap up here today. So your Marlins, let's start with them. They are 5-5, okay? Hey, 500 ball, that's great. Break it up, Marlins, 5-5. I know they just got hammered, but hey, they're 5-5. That's good. They're still in the hunt. They're hitting 274. They got a 5.38 team ERA. Orlando Pena's got 3 saves. We got Ellie Rod, 14 for 39 is pretty good. We got, yeah, let's move on to Philly, who also is 5-5. See that? So Philly, all they have is a tiebreaker versus the Marlins at this point. 286 for the Phillies, as expected. 438. And when we look at the National League East, again, it's very early, folks, but there you go. Braves in trouble. Mets currently in first for what it matters. But there you go. I mean, it's the Braves have stumbled out of the blocks. That's the only noteworthy thing that I can report. And statistically now, we have played 97 baseball games to this point of the season, and we got that team ERA below 4. It's down to 3.88. We expect it to drop probably below 3.50, I would assume, later in the year when we're down to like the playoff teams and the good pitching staffs are left. Plus, again, you get a game where somebody scores 17 runs, it's going to ruin your league ERA. And that happened. 262 batting average, 326 on base, a 388 ERA, and a 140 whip. Break up your Phillies. They needed a comeback, and they got it. They beat the Marlins 4-2. Thanks for checking this out. We'll see you next time.